So, why I'm doing this today? Yes, I have my security cameras on, and they're positioned so I can see one of them in the mirror. I can see both of them. One is above me, and the other is slightly behind me to my left. And I'm looking into the window. The mirror, and I have a candle on. I'm gonna hold my crystal. Yeah, I have a large quartz crystal. And I wonder whether that store is open. The gem store. It was a nice one. I hope they're still open. Yeah, a lot of businesses are closed in New York City. Places that I went to. And I hope somehow they can get back. So why I'm doing this meditation session, I first of all want to prepare myself, give a word of protection over me, my household, and my gang. I speak words of protection about me, my domain, everything in it. A word of protection to protect me from all malevolencies, malevolence of spiritual beings that mean me harm, ghosts, goblins, succubus, incubus, demons, spying spirits, familiar spirits, nosy neighbors, government agencies that snoop and get in your business, AI, and private corporations that spy on people. I close all their gateways, all portals of their entry, as I speak to myself. Words of protection. They have no authority, nor permission, access to this communication. They are barred from every aspect of this broadcast from me. They're not allowed here. They are barred. They cannot see, hear, smell, talk, or touch, or influence this broadcast in any way. I speak my authority over them in this broadcast. I also put up a hedge of protection about me, surrounding me, engulfing all of me from the trick of my enemies, foreign and domestic. I speak words of love into the mirror. A spirit of joy, you are welcome. Spirit of peace, you are welcome. Spirit of insight, you are welcome. Wisdom, you are welcome. Knowledge and truth, you are welcome here in this transmission. I call upon a union, a communication of my conscious self, my higher self, and whom I call the benevolent one, the creator, my overseer, my counselor, the great counselor, the great physician, the great teacher, the great one. And I also welcome those little orbs who are looking for encouragement, who will also assist in this communication with knowledge and truth and love that you can share or receive from me. My desire is always to encourage. And ultimately, this is what this broadcast is all about. Yes, I want to encourage myself. All the words that I speak, I also speak to me. I have to encourage myself. I have to teach myself. So I welcome whom I call my true family, my true friend, my Trinity, those components that I mentioned of my conscious self, my higher self, and the benevolent one. All of them together, I will be mentioning them as my friend, my Trinity. I welcome you all. Yes, I clap. Yes, my little girl Lily. Oh, that's my little boy Lavin. Yeah, when I clap the 3 claps. Yes. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, good morning. Yeah, I'm starting my day early. I feel pretty good physically. I'm alert and I have a beautiful candle on. Why I'm doing this transmission? Well, I also have my notepad, my notebook, and my pen because I need to write down some things as it comes to me. I was just, I finished watching a movie. Yeah, it ended at 8 o'clock. I started watching around 6 a.m. in the morning. I downloaded 2 movies. It's a Jumanji or something like that, Jumanji movie with Dwayne Johnson and the rest of his gang. I want to talk about this movie. And I feel that it spoke to me, the movie. And that's why I'm doing this transmission, because it's digging deep. I was referred to this video that came out, I think, in 2017, 2016. And it's very telling. I knew of the movie, but I didn't know what it was about. And I decided not to see it based on the picture, the billboard, I should say. And it was something I kind of regret not seeing it then. But you know, hearing word of it over a YouTuber. See, a YouTuber that I was listening to, I think 2 days ago, 1 or 2 days ago. And she talked about that movie. And something about an avatar, that we're actually in a avatar environment. So I said, so I wrote down the name of the movie and some other movies she recommended. I'm very glad that I paid for the movie. Wow. It was amazing. Um, why I didn't want to see the movie when it came out, the Billboard. What disturbed me so much? I didn't like that they were making fun of one of the particular actors, Kevin Hart. Now he is a funny man. He is naturally funny. He knows the game, and he knows what people may think of him based solely on his looks. And what is the main character of his looks? He's a dark-skinned black man, and he's short, and he plays up both of them. But the particular part that I am more resentful to is the mockery of his color slash race. And I don't like that they're making synonymous being a dark complected man is the joke, is the mockery. And it angers me. Making fun because someone is short. You are who you are. Now, if you lived in a society where everybody's the same height as him, it wouldn't be an issue. But this is the key. It's where he lives now. And I think that is the key to what's really bugging me and what the movie is tapping into. The movie is tapping in, and for you to know that they are archetypes. I am an archetype. Everyone here is an archetype slash avatar. And I think this might be the key to many things. And the key is what's the issue with me is that I focus on the minor. And it's tripping me in this game called life. And it is clouding and distorting me to enjoy this game called life. I take things very seriously. And part of that is because, see, in this avatar, I play the role of a lighter skin, a brown skinned Black American female. And in this journey, I've seen things around me of Black people, darker skinned Black people. And I don't like in this game that they are targeted solely because of their color slash race. There are other groups who are of color, and I don't see the same rules applied to some of those groups. At least in this environment, this is what I see. I see the injustices and the assumption that just because of what they are, they play a part. I go outside and I see the avatar at work. That seems so real to me. They are believing the story about them and they are living it. They are living an avatar. What other people programmed the meaning behind those avatars. Being Black is equivalent to being ugly and stupid. And there's nothing dumb or stupid or ignorant in a quality called melanin. But we believe it in the Americas and all over the world. The majority of us are beautifully melanated, and the most so-called primitive of us are short in stature. Yeah. You go in the equatorial areas of the world, across this planet. Just repositioning myself. I got a cramp in my leg. Are short people of various melanation. And people make fun of them. You have the taller people, and they seem to dominate on this planet called Earth. And it in itself is just a quality. And most of the time, their coloring is also opposite. And so it's almost synonymous. Being tall is being special. Being white is perceived as being special. But there are many, many different avatars. But in the Americas, you see those archetypes. And we live and we think based on them, those thinking, these concepts and these ideas on these looks/avatars. And so on my journey, I was getting caught up. And so I got fed up. I said, look at this. He's playing the short, black fool. And he's probably making a lot of money. Yeah, he's making a lot of money. Saw a video, a little snippet on the performer called Eddie Murphy. And he also utilized his avatar initially when he came out on Saturday Night Live in 1980. He played the dark-skinned black thug. And so when he came on board, yeah, I was just starting. I might have still been in high school or about to graduate or had just graduated. And I didn't watch him. Once I saw what his character was about, I said, I don't want this. Why? Because I got caught up in what I perceived as the negativity of his avatar game. Being the thug, being the angry male. Now, I've since then, watched his movies as time went on. He's a very funny guy. I liked his Nutty Professor. And I liked Coming to America. I enjoyed them, those two movies. But for a movie, this is what I'm getting. For a movie to be successful, you have to believe in your avatar, meaning you have to understand the rules of the part you're playing. And I didn't know the rules. I didn't want to play the part. It seems like in this game, this avatar game, and again, I should have elaborated a little further. Because the movie Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. There's two movies, like a part one, part two. So I saw the part one. It's called Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. And the characters in the movie, that they're about four main characters, four or five main characters. And this takes place, there are two components. In 1996 component of a young boy who is into video games, and I guess the other one was the father. And they showed an archetype, a kid that just kind of locks himself in his room and plays games and not interacting. And I presume the father was jogging on the beach with some male figure, adult male figure, spots something on the beach and sees looks like a board game called Jumanji or something like that. And he brings it home, knocks on his the kid's room, says, "Hey, I found something. I think you might like it." Something like that. That's all. And he is irritated. Don't worry, to the grumpy kid. And he's in bed, so I guess he's getting his sleep. But he puts the game. Yeah, he puts the game on top of something, and he goes to sleep. And then he's waking up in the middle of the night because the thing starts making some noise, whatever, to wake him up. And then he engages in the game. He opens up the game, and you gather he plays the game because they changed the scene. And you see a light go on and crackle sound, and then you see these other characters. And these are the other four members. And each of them have their own personality. They have their own avatar. Oh, let's see. You had the black jock, tall, big black dude. And he needs to stay on the some team he's on. I think, yeah, he's a football player. But he didn't do his report, and so he has a so-called friend. And his avatar is a nerdy Jewish fellow, skinny, insecure, but he does schoolwork. And those two are actually childhood friends. Now they're like in a high school setting. And he has the jock, the black jock, tells his friend to do his paper. So he does his paper. He had the jock had lied to his mom, said, "Oh, I'm just leaving early because I have to, I'm going to get this tutor, and so and so is going to help me out with something." And the mother said, "Oh, okay, but warns him about something. You don't want to mess up your chances to stay on the team, because if you don't do well in school, they'll drop you off the team. You need to do well." And the smarter friend, the Jewish kid, he's also a video expert. He likes video games, those computer games. And they got caught. When the teacher read the paper, she recognized the paper from an older paper. And I get, teachers save papers of the students because sometimes students give each other their work and they copy it from, so yeah, so they got canned and they had to do detention. Also around the same time, another scene of two other women. And one woman is about her looks and her selfies and taking snapshots of herself and being totally self-absorbed. And she's in the classroom. They were taking a quiz, and she's on her cell phone during the quiz. And she was totally selfish. And, the teacher had talked to her, and she gave a smart aleck remark, the student. And so the teacher said, "You're in detention." And then the last character, another female. And she's kind of introverted. And in her introvert, she doesn't really want to engage in activities. She's actually very shy. And to overcome her shyness, she poo-poos everything, So that's how she copes in her environment. And when the gym teacher, had told her, "Hey, you to participate, get a partner to, play ball." And interesting was co-ed. The boys and the girls, they were playing together, But she didn't want to engage in it. And so she says something and she gets into detention also. But actually, there are things going on. But the magic of the movie was to reveal who they were. Because see, now, all those 4 kids, students, were to be put on, what do you call that? Detention. I said probation. I meant to say detention. Yeah, it is like a jail though, right? Probation. Well, it's detention I meant to say. So the teacher, I'm sorry, I guess the principal or the dean is talking to all 4 of them. He says, you need to, find out really who you are. Because, you only have one life to live. And by doing this detention, you get to look within yourself and ask yourself, tell yourself where you are now and where you want to go. And I listened to that section twice. And I said, that is a powerful statement. See, I didn't know what the movie was going to be about, really. It said something about the art. I said, I think I saw the trailer. I said, wait a minute, what is this about? So, that's what happened. So, they go in this room to clean it up. There was some chores they had to do. It's a real dingy room. And in that room, the computer guy, the nerdy student that does the other guy's term papers and all that, I think he found the game. But either way, they get all sucked into the game. See, they have to clean up the room, and their curiosity, the guy's curiosity got the best of him. And he puts the object that was inside the box, and he sees it must be a video game or something, and there's controls in it. It was a console, those buttons that you use. I don't even know what you call it, to interact with the game. There were four of them, so they put it in the computer, whatever, and they see that it has different, the screen comes on, and they see like different avatars, different names. They say, "Oh, this is a game, video game," And these are characters. So he selects one and he says, hey, hey, why don't you try it also? Let's play. So each of them choose an avatar, not really thinking anything of it. And then something happens. One by one, they get sucked into their bodies become like particles, and they literally get, they go inside the machine, the computer game, and they become the characters. And this is amazing. Why does this fascinate me? See, it's fascinating my little boy. Hey, 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 that's quiet. That's all in the snow. Yeah, it says snow outside, and so the snow may hit the window of my room and startle my little boy. Come here, baby. It's okay. Shh. That's quiet. It's okay, baby. Come here. Come, baby. Okay, he shook it off. It's okay. It's just the snow. Yeah. See, what I'm learning here, what you learn in the movie, is that each avatar, they give a description. They slowly started navigating. Once they got in the machine and then they landed on the ground one by one. And initially they don't realize what's happened to them, because they cannot see themselves. It's not like a mirror, and they don't understand what's going on one by one. And then they realize, once all four of the characters, avatars, are inside the game, and they're looking at each other, trying to figure out who are each other. He says, I'm so and so, and they've yeah, we're in a game. We are all in a game. And that's what the movie is to teach us, that we are all in a simulation. And remember Professor Gates, I forget his full name. I think it's from Yale or Harvard University. He's a physicist. And he discovered that when he was examining the components of, I think it's of the universe or the galaxy, that they were codes that was the same as some computer component of something on the internet. They were identical. And that I learned about, I think 2016. But wow. So what's going on with me in this knowledge about us in a simulation? Well, I'm in this game, and I don't understand it. See, I'm seeing that I don't know my character. And it's blowing my mind. And watching the movie, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Remember I said in a recent video that this is a concrete jungle. And I don't know how to play this game. And I don't want to play this game. I don't like it. And then you hear people over the internet, YouTube in particular, who say, oh, what's that now? These are parts that we play. And some people are better at these games than others. It's like you're in a fog. You're in a daze. You're groping the walls. Yeah, laughing. Yeah, it's okay, baby. Yeah, he's looking outside. It's okay, baby. Yeah, I lost the train of thought, but yes, this is a like a game. So the characters, like myself, there's an initial shock, like an initial, like you have to get oriented. And in the movie, they one by one, they started real, okay, so I'm so and so, but I'm in this body. And they realized, okay, they selected avatars before they came into the game called life. And then he started remember, oh, that's right, I chose such and such character, and then you chose, and then they go on and they realize who each other is. And then they get a visitation from a neutral party who's, I guess, part of the program that's built into, the computer program of this game. And he kind of tells them a little, what their goal in life is. What's their purpose? That they have to find something. They have to put something, they have to find something and put it back. And then they told like a backdrop, a story behind the story to help them understand, give them a context of their environment, why they're there. So it's a context that's given to them to help orient them to the game. And I didn't get that piece. I'm at a stage where, like in the movie Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, I fell down from Earth in this avatar. And I'm groping the walls. And it's like, oh my God. But see, in this spiritual journey, I call my channel Spirit Journey. Well, I think this movie could give me clues about my character. Oh my God, my character. Yes, I think for me, it started the trying to gather my orientation for me. Started in I was 6 years old. 5, 6 years old. That's when it happened to me. That's when everything, just one day I was in a classroom. I thought it was kindergarten. But I ordered my school, my school records. And the paper said first grade. I don't know how it could be the first grade. Because we didn't learn anything. It was just game. But it said, according to the paper, it was the first grade. But I remember it as kindergarten because the room on the door said kindergarten. But either way, whether kindergarten, first grade, one day I was in that classroom and I didn't understand why I was there. I don't know. At that point. And so from first or kindergarten till now, in a phase, and I started to see, like, in relationship to the movie Jumanji, what was going on in my psychology. See, I have this avatar. Like I said, a female, brown skin, a New Yorker, all these attributes. See, all of us have an attribute, a gift that I am to discover what it is, to help me in this avatar world. No one is good or bad. We all have qualities, I should say. We all have qualities. None of us are inferior to anybody else. They're just qualities. And in the movie Jumanji, in the beginning, they slowly discover, like they remember the name that they chose in the game, and then they got sucked in all of them. And one of them, the one that played by the tall actor Dwayne Johnson, or The Rock, he hit his chest with his hand and then popped these attributes of the character that he's playing. Okay, now the character, his avatar was played by the nerdy Jewish fellow who does his homework, whatever. Okay. So it seemed like for him in the movie, I mean, there are different layers to this movie that I think is fantastic. But it was to actually build his character, his true self. Because his true self, the nerdy Jewish kid, he let people push him around a little bit. His so-called friend, the black jock, tall black jock, he didn't stand his ground because it said in the movie, the character, that they were friends from childhood, and he disrespects his nerdy friend, acts like he doesn't know him, and so actually the character, so here he was a nerdy guy, not strong, big like his friend, and so now he's the big fellow, and his qualities, he's a lot of positive qualities, that he has, that he is to tap into. He's to tap into the game. The game is a tool. God, the game is a tool to equip him. Because see, when you do a game, when you're in the game called life, it's a teacher. The game is to teach his true self. Because again, the game is for a season. The game is only for a season, it's not for eternity. Because it's there to get back. So that's the point about the game. The game is you have something to accomplish, and then you get back. Now his friend, the jock, the black jock, that uses his friend to do his schoolwork, he had chose inadvertently an avatar that is still a black character, but an even darker skinned character, and short, very short. Okay. And he has weaknesses also that it showed. Like some of the characters had, weaknesses. And one of them was speed and cake. I don't know. So he used to make fun of, I guess he likes sweets, whatever, and the big jock likes to eat. He's a really big fellow. And then the short self, hey, that's going to be your weakness. Oh, wow. The short guy, the short avatar, they planted in him that you're going to, see, it had to teach him something. One thing, humility. See, he used his strength and his looks to take advantage of himself. Take advantage of himself, of people around him. He was a user, and he wasn't developed mentally, but he was great at physical. So in the game, though, he's playing a short guy. He has a problem with speed. If he eats cake, I guess in his, the tall fellow, he likes eating sweets, and if he eats cake, he'll explode. So all these things. So it switched, it did reversals of who they were. And the avatar was to develop them to become something else that was lacking in themselves. Then they had the lady, the one who liked to do the selfie, who was self-absorbed. Well, she had chose a male avatar. And the male was a middle-aged guy, heavy set. The physically, the physical opposite of herself. Okay, from female to male, to from slim to heavy set. But the personalities, of the character, it was the same. But now they have their characters, and they start to act out their personality within the avatar. Yeah, my stomach is growling right now. It's so exciting. Yeah, it's amazing. So she is humbled about what was her character now? Because she had intellect. She learns to become a teacher with her avatar. Because see, the other female, and her avatar was a female as well. So it was only one character that played another gender. But the second female, who's the introvert, and she verbally attacks people because of her insecurities, because she's afraid to interact with things. But actually, she's an attractive girl. Nothing seems to be wrong with her. She's intelligent, but she's very insecure. So her avatar, she's wearing, she inadvertently, she chose a sexy avatar, great body, wearing things that she would not wear. So she was wearing her cookies out there. And she knew how to fight, kick fight. And I forget other attributes, but that was the main attribute, that she's sexy looking, and she knows how to kick fight. So in real life, the real personality of her was afraid to interact with others. So this one was forcing her to engage in activity with others, and to enhance, to learn how to utilize what she naturally is, because she actually was socially considered an attractive woman. So I find that interesting now in analysis of the characters. And then they had to learn how to work together. And that was the real, the other attribute of what the movie tried to teach. That, see, they were all unique in their own ways, but they're in a situation, and they had to learn to discover their avatars' attributes, strengths and weaknesses, and bring them together. And one aspect of the movie that I thought was really interesting, the male characters in particular, the Dwayne Johnson, he was like he came across like a leader of the gang, of the group. Towered over everybody, very, very muscular. But see, his mind is the mind of the nerdy Jewish fellow who plays video games, See, that aspect had to be developed. And then you had the short guy, the short black fellow, who was, his so-called true self was the jock. But now he's the short guy. But the short guy, not even though he's short, he still has the mind of the big jock. And he was trying to bully the Dwayne Johnson character. The guy in real life whose name is Dwayne Johnson. And it looked weird. That, see, he didn't tap into, the Dwayne Johnson character. He didn't tap, he even though he could see that he's big and everything, he had abilities. And the short guy didn't have his small stature. He was still trying to bully his childhood friend, and so it looked comical. Because because in the game, Dwayne Johnson could kick the other guy's little behind, played by Kevin Hart. So the Kevin Hart had pushed him and tried to bully him, and it's the guy. You could see that he's going to get, like he looked almost teary, like he was going to cry, and he was scared of things too. He was, Dwayne Johnson. He was afraid of like life, because his mother. Okay, that's right, because before he became the Avatar, his mother was somebody that put fear in him. So one thing he gathered was, okay, his parents are separated or divorced, and so he had to go, so it's a broken home, and then the mother is so, you got to be careful in life, this is a scary world, and blah, blah. So he got mentally programmed by his mom. And maybe the mother actually did that to him unconsciously, because the mom wanted him to be afraid, so he would never leave her. Wow. And it affected the son. And then he uses hand gel, sanitizer, because everything, be afraid of everything. Life is that was the mother. And the mother only came in once in the movie, in the beginning. And so it was to get a personality trait of each of the characters, what was motivating them to behave the way they were. That was the most profound part in the movie for me, when Dwayne Johnson was afraid to hit back because he doesn't realize his potential in the Avatar. See, the rules were different now. They were out of their real world, in the Avatar world, but they still think they're their own self. And so they had to go through a mental change and totally submerge in the character to overcome, so that, because see, they had to identify with the new character's abilities to get the task done. And the task was to get this particular object and put it back where it belonged. And only then, when you complete that, can you go home. And also, they're given 3 lives. They had a bar, these 3 lines on their arm, on their forearm. And they learned that, like, one of them in the beginning had gotten eaten by one of the animals, and it looked horrific. And then you see the guy falling from the sky. So what happens? It's a form of reincarnation, just like in this world. But they reincarnated into the same body, the same avatar in the movie. And then they noticed that on the arm that one of the bars was missing. So they gathered, oh wow, these bars must represent how many lives we have. So they wanted to be careful how they utilize their their life. And some of them died, the characters died, and then they're brought back. And some were sacrificed. And that was another interesting thing. The timid girl, when she had the object that they were looking for in her hand, but to save the others, see, she knew she was going to come back. And maybe that's what's happening with us down here. So, and she's surrounded by snakes, poisonous snakes. And a man is coming after her that doesn't want her to get this artifact to put back where it belongs because it would destroy him. So she said, I have more than one life here in this game. I'm allergic to venom, and so I'm going to allow this thing to kill me, because she knows that when she dies, her body comes up, like vanishes, and she's going to fall back on the earth. So she was so what she was relying on was that when she fell back to the earth, she would fall back on this mountain where she needed to be. And one of the other characters was to help her. The guy, the Dwayne Johnson. It's okay. That's more snow. It's okay, baby. Come here. Come here, baby. It's okay. That was just snow. Shake it off. Shake it off, Lavin. Lavin, shake it off. Good boy. Yeah, he shook it off. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is amazing. This movie is amazing. Lavin, come here. Come. Come here, baby. It's just snow. It's just snow, baby. He's the watchdog. You know, my little boy, the dog that's barking, Lavender, I think he tapped onto his avatar. Yeah, he's my watchdog. Tiny guy, but a big bark. Yeah, he's very very alpha male. He has two components to him. Yeah, he wants to protect, but he's also scaredy cat too. He's afraid of thunder, all that. Or when the phone rings, it makes a tiny cute little noise. You know, with these cell phones, when you get a message, that little bing, it frightens him. And then he wants me to hug him. So yeah, we all have our shortcomings. All of us. And so I share about this movie, not to be a killjoy, but this movie, I think, represents what's happening to me and everybody else here. This is an avatar world, and at this stage of the game, I need to discover what my purpose is in life in this avatar. Like those characters, they had to they hit their chests. I'm tapping on my chest right now. They tapped on their chest and poof, what their character represents. The name, their strength, the weaknesses, and important data. And it's that data that they have to be familiar with to navigate in the game. So I look in the mirror right now. And I have to, one thing, accept what I am in this avatar world. I have to accept who I am. I cannot change it. I can, and I will not. And some of us are changing our gender, right? They came in this body, whatever gender they came in. What their genetics, they're male or female, their sex. Okay, gender is more of a social construct, but your sex, what sex are you? Some people don't like their avatar. Whether because of their sex or their nationality, their race, their color, their height, everything. Well, I look into the mirror right now, and I accept you. I accept your avatar. I accept who you are. And we're going to discover together who you really are. Who am I? Who was it? Let's be quiet. It's okay, baby boy. Yeah. You're to discover what your strengths are. What are your strengths? I'm in this room. I've been at this residency approaching 18 years. And I feel like I want to leave. And some of you know, hey, I was exploring getting a mortgage, to get it, fill out an application for approval for a mortgage. To find out what I qualify for, because I'm a veteran and I have this form. And then everything just started to crumble. All these things that I'm finding out, like I can't use my voucher for the lending agencies because they're saying, oh, well, you cannot, we don't accept a construction mortgage loan. We don't accept that, but yet the voucher says it does. And then they say, okay, well, we could approve you for this amount, but you can only look for homes, in these states because this is where we represent, So it's only the East Coast with the exclusion of Georgia. Interesting. So I feel like it's just part of a game that I'm in. Like the Avatar game. And it's saying the yeses and nos. Okay, you can do this, but you can't do that. So I said, wow, this is something else. This is something else. I don't like it. But I'm in this game. And the movie suggested that I chose this avatar. And I've heard other people in the spiritual community or New Age community, and that's what they say, that we chose this reincarnation. And in the game, the movie, the 3 different lives, they have a maximum of 3 lives. That really represents reincarnation. And you came back until you got it right. What is it that I'm not doing right? I feel like I'm in a holding pen. I feel I'm here for a reason. It took me out of those other places where I lived. And it plopped me right in the middle of a big city. And I see all this chaos going around me. The riots. The buildings being burned and looted. The groping. All these things are popping up in my life. And I'm asking myself, my higher self, and the benevolent one, why am I here? And what are my attributes to help me navigate? Why is it that with my natural self, I feel that a spirit of intimidation was designed to make me not tap onto those attributes. My appearance. I downplay my looks. Even in my videos. I know I could put makeup on, I can do my hair, but I'm not into looks. But like the lady, okay, but the lady in the movie who was the introvert, she really had a lot of good attributes. but she didn't want to utilize it. She was underplaying herself. She was an intellectual, but she wasn't utilizing her cookies when she could have used it as a tool. See, these are tools of the game. You don't always have to use what you have. But if it's there, and if it could help you, then maybe you should use it. Maybe I should have used certain tools that is innately in me. But I didn't want to use it because I had gotten opposition. I received opposition. So, gifts are gifts. And you don't really lose a gift, but there's a prime at using a gift. Use your prime. Use your prime. Use what you have. It may not be at its peak stage, but use what you do have. Wow. I felt that utilizing certain gifts was showing off. And so part of the program I got was, you're not supposed to use certain things because that's showing off. Maybe it might have been perceived as showing off. But we see what happened in that game when Dwayne Johnson character said, I'm going to push you back. And he pushed Kevin Hart's character. And yeah, and it amazed him. And it was just, to encourage him. So that when he goes back to the other side, he had to exercise that component in him that was in him. Because as you see, Kevin Hart, even though he's short, he had the mindset of the big guy. And it pushed him. Of course, he didn't hurt him. But he still was cocky, and he utilized what he had. His intimidation. He had the gift of intimidation. He didn't have the size in his avatar, but it initially helped him intimidate Dwayne Johnson's character until he got Mr. here. Until his anger, he tapped into his anger. I think what's happening to me at times when I do my videos, I start to tap into my anger. There was another movie about that too that I saw. I think it was just yesterday. That's right. The movie Tenet, Tenet. So you read it forward or backwards, it's pronounced the same way, Tenet. The wife, it was a wife and husband, and the wife wanted to shoot the husband, to kill him. He was an abusive man. And the husband said, "You don't have it in your eyes to do it." Like he told us basically the secret for her to get the job done and to kill him. She needed to tap into anger. She was tapping into feeling unworthy and things like that. That's not going to help her. She needed to tap into her anger. And yes, she eventually does kill him. And she was able to go on with her life and get her son back. So with me, let's quiet. being timid, having people intimidate me, having family members trying to intimidate me, right? I need to overcome certain things. Some things it's not good to always avoid. Are any of you avoiding your match? I'm not saying to pick a fight, to start a fight. Maybe some things I need are happening because it wants to develop me. And that this avatar that I'm in here, maybe it's to prepare me for something. Yeah, I feel like I'm here in this town, actually for something. I feel this is a stage right now. It's a stage what's happening in my life. It's right now. It's in suspension. It's in dormant, and it's dormant for a season. But I feel that I need to prepare myself for something. And in the movie, the principal, the dean is saying, you have one life. Look where you want to go. Look where you are and look where you want to go. Where am I now? I'm in the middle of the city. But where am I to go? What, and again, don't those characters, they chose? Didn't they ultimately choose where they were to go? The whole process was to build their characters. It exposed who they were, and some of their counterparts were actually to help each other. Like the two females actually helped each other. But one's avatar was a male and the other one's female. But actually, they're opposite each other. And interesting that they use a guy, the vain woman, young girl, had the male avatar. Really interesting. So are these secrets of what I'm to gather in this body that I have? Is the body that I have right now reflect the life that I came from? Where did I come from? Where? And how to overcome. How do we overcome this? One thing, to find out what my attributes are. I have in this body, in this being, qualities. So I have my paper here, and I want to brainstorm and look within myself in this mirror and to discover what those qualities are. And I need to utilize it in getting me out of this matrix. At least enjoy the game more, because see, at times we're going to slip and fall. We're going to make mistakes. But we get up and we keep on keeping on, because right now I'm here and I'm engaging in this world. What is it that you require? What is it? I have a voice that I could use. I'm laid back in general. How could I make these qualities? How to market them? I've been in environments and it's dog eat dog. And I'm not enjoying it as I should. I know those other people, they're not really enjoying it either. I see also the gift that I'm being taken care of. I am being taken care of where it counts. And that is actually a blessing. What do I need to start nurturing? I feel like here, that what part of the answer, that I'm here in this apartment, in this building, in this city, for a reason. I've left it. I left it about 3 or 4 times and always had to come back. But ultimately, it had me come here. What is it? This is a state. This is this is a platform. This is something like it's like waiting, and there's going to be a time, an activation. I think maybe that's also what's happening. Let me write that down. We're going to write down these keywords. I think there's going to be an activation of my ability. Yeah, there's an activation. I think right now things are dormant. And it's dormant for a season. Yeah, there's a dormancy in me. And in this game, some might call traumas. All these things, I think, to shape us. It influenced, I should say. You hear about those people who go through ritual abuse that survive it. And there was something about that also. A movie that I saw that they were going through, someone went through horrific traumas. I don't remember what it was, but it's something recently that I saw. It could have been earlier this week or last week. But it developed, I mean, it sounds sick to say that. It's with the cabal. There are people here who are traumatized as children. They go through sexual ritual abuses. Some people are beat up. If it doesn't kill you, and I hate to say it like this, if it doesn't actually kill you, it could actually build you up. So I went to school that had bullies. Well, let me tell you something. Just like the character, the movie that saw Tenet, and the husband that was bullying the wife and beat her up. He says, you didn't have the strength to pull the trigger because of it. Because she didn't tap into her anger. She was tapping into this other thing or other emotional mess. And what she needed there to be able to pull the trigger was her anger. And so that woman, earlier this week, I think it was. Remember that woman? I was, it was a week ago Wednesday. Yes, it was last week on Wednesday. And I was coming home from my guitar lessons. And a woman, I mean, I had passed her many feet away, and she runs up to me and laughs. What was she the archetype of? See, this is important here. She was an avatar. She was an archetype avatar of a classroom bully. Similar body type, very kind of chunky. How she had her hair. I mean, not the color of her hair. She had that orange hair. But the phenotype was pretty close. See, when I asked her, when she was acting out, I looked at her. I said, you okay? Wait for her to talk to me. I was angry, and so what's with this girl's problem? But I stood my ground and looked at her dead in the face, because I was trying to figure out. Sometimes you need to look the bully in the eye. I didn't know this girl. She didn't know me. You okay? Yeah, I stood back. Interesting. And when I got home, I didn't look at it right away. I waited almost like a week. I think it was important that I had that camera on at that time, because I have it on just in case, all the drama that happens in New York City. But I was able to look at her in the eye again, and I saw the buffoonery. And she had a Mickey Mouse mask, signifying that she is a fool. But see, as a child, we see these people as bigger than they are, and see them as powerful, when in actuality, they're like Mickey Mouse, no real substance to her. But in my mind, it inflated because she was bigger than me. Yeah, I was the puny kid, and this was a big girl. And then the thing that happened on the train a couple of years ago, same type again. A chunky female with a bully spirit. And sometimes you just need to look at them straight in the eye. Don't have fear. You need to overcome your fear. And what do they say what fear is? False evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. She seemed real to me, that childhood bully. And sometimes they're scared of you. Sometimes people are afraid of you because they don't understand you. And when they fear, that's how they cope, by bullying. She was no evidence. She was not real. But you built it up in your head as it being real. She was a false evidence. She was a false evidence of power. She had no power in her. She was a fool. But you can spin in different ways. Now, I had my body cam and people were around. Well, if I say, hey, you want to be my buddy or something like that, you will walk up to her. Hey, how you doing? And you follow her. When that had blown her mind, right? What do you want? This is something else. There's something else I want to share. I had that dream years ago. I had this dream years ago, I should say. I was a teenager. And I had a recurring dream being chased. Yeah, I was being chased. I was being chased by men, what looked like men. They were all black, and they were to be menacing. And then one day, I don't know why this happened in the dream, and thank God it happened. I turned around from what was chasing me. I said, what do you want? Or why are you chasing me? Something like that. And then it was a little boy. A dark-skinned black boy, maybe 5, 6 years old, a little boy. And he was crying, like sniffing. A little child, really sad. And then the dream ended. And I never had that aspect of my dream again. Because you have to ask yourself, universe, you have those who are watching. You have to ask yourself, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you following me? Why are you chasing me? Why? You put it back on them. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, baby. See my little, you're laughing. That's just the snow. That's just the snow banging. Yeah, that's the snow. Okay? Good boy. Good boy. See, that's my little lavender. You have to start asking yourself, when these things happen to you, why are you following me? Why are you doing this? What do you want? And you put it on them. Because, see, what's happening when you don't address the issue, they get off of the chase. And they used back then these men. At least with me. With you could be something else. But me back then as a teenager, there was a whole bunch of men running after me. And then I turned around. It was fearful. The chase, the running away was fearful. Feared. I had this dream for a while. I don't remember how many years, but it was recurring over and over again. And then one day, I don't know why I did this in the dream. See, I'm a curious person. And sometimes these things are happening because they want you to engage in it. What do you want? Why are you chasing me? You weren't the problem. It was the problem. And it utilized your unaware of the power that you had. The power I had was the ability to speak and say, hey, what do you want? And the thing never bothered me again, never. Because see, what was chasing me was a child. But the fear, false evidence appearing real, chased me for all that time. Put in fear, false evidence appearing real. Those weren't men. A real man wouldn't chase after a woman like that, a whole pack of men. Not a real man. But a child would. The child wanted something inside that it didn't have. So it frightened me to get attention. Even if the attention was me running away, it fed off of that energy. It's when when I'm seeing in life, is that, some dreams aren't just, what I'm seeing, that not all dreams are equal. And some dreams are actual, they're events, they're dimensions. Some of our dreams are actually are events that are actually happening in the astral or spiritual realm. And they feed off of our energy. And so maybe this little boy existed somewhere and was attracted to me. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating. But it kept seeking me. But used the fear factor, false evidence appearing real, as men. Men, like the fear of a man chasing men, or gang rape, right? It knew what I was afraid of. And in actuality, I was a little boy. How many of us have things that happen to us in this avatar that challenge us and fears us? Wow. This is something else. There are things in this world that follow us everywhere we go. And we have to learn how to tap onto, find out with our avatar. Because it wouldn't be fair for us to come without any protection. A rose have thorns. Every rose has a thorn, right? It's fragile. And when it came onto this planet, because of its beauty and fragrance, it needs something to protect itself. So it has a thorn in it. Okay? I need to tap onto that, find out what my thorn is. We all have an attribute. See, it wouldn't make sense to put something as beautiful as a rose without a thorn, without some innate protection. Even a skunk, right? Little animal, and it has its thorn too, to defend itself. I call on my higher power, my true family, my true friend, my true Trinity, what that power, innate power I have. Because I need to tap onto it, because it doesn't make sense for me to be down here in this game and not having access to power to navigate in this world. It's not right. That's not what a game, just like in the movie, Jumanji. Each of them had a gift, some attribute, so that they will eventually be able to leave the game and maybe, leave the game or go to the next level. I am thankful that I turned around and talked to that person. When I turned around and stared at it, what do you want? Why are you crying? Why? I didn't pursue it. It pursued me. And you know, I say something else. I saw this in action a couple of years ago. Yeah, some of these, see, the bullies out there, okay, they come in pairs. When it happened to me on the train, and it happened to somebody else, in pairs. One bigger, another one smaller. And similar thing, there was no word, there was no words exchanged. But energy, in the form of, you had the bully approaching a male bully, approaching another male, and again, the two against one middle-aged, one maybe 30 years younger. What I going to try to do something in the middle of the sidewalk. This is really interesting, this avatar. And you know, the person just said, after that, stare them at. You have to, wow, you have to stare at them. But don't have fear. See, fear feeds those bullies. False evidence appearing real, and they utilize that to destroy you. Like in the movie The Tenant, when the wife didn't stand her ground and she had the gun in her hand. Amazing. Or the thing that I also witnessed. They backed away. They came inches from this individual's face that I saw. Like maybe 6 inches away from the person. You don't know, you stand, boom. And they just stared at him. And the guy backed away. Didn't say, there was no words. This is power. And you know, in the movie Jumanji, one of the things in the movie was with the snake. And they said, do not move your eye. Do not move your eye. To stare at it. Because it fits that the snake, it was a snake. And they had to get, the snake was on top of one of the clues of, interesting, wait a minute, getting a revelation here. The snake in the movie, oh, wait a minute. Had to move my camera. My little boy was sleeping on top of it. Yeah, it's still going. See, the snake in the movie was in the basket, and it was what was inside the basket was one of the clues. But to get to the clue, you have to deal with that snake. And the clue that was already given regarding the snake earlier was that you need to stare at the snake, stare in the eye of the snake. And then while the fixating of the snake and the person, the other person is to go in the basket and get the clue. Well, when that individual stared down that other person, that is a clue. That actually is a clue. That perhaps the clue is in that individual. A revelation knowledge of those things that make us afraid, but it's actually false evidence appearing real, is maybe our doorway to freedom. This is something else. The woman that I saw a week ago Wednesday was possibly a doorway for me. Avatar like the class bully from way back. I said, "Are you okay?" She ain't okay. That's why she ran away with her tail between her legs. You have to learn how to stare, and yeah, I looked right in her eye. Fool, what? But maybe that was actually a blessing that happened. Because we all saw in the video, those of you who saw the video of the woman acting buffoon towards me, I had walked past her. They weren't even looking at me. Something brought her over. What brought her over? I was already a big distance away from her. And it didn't look like she was even looking at me. Yeah, I could see the corner of my eye. She's wearing bright orange hair. Who could miss that? There's something that I'm to learn from that. Are you okay? Are you okay? Yes, I am okay. It's letting me know that yes, I am okay. But growing up, we start to doubt ourselves because these bullies make us feel that we're less than. And we start to doubt ourselves and say, hey, am I okay? Well, what's wrong with me, right? Yes, I am okay. I was always okay. And like the characters in Jumanji, they were all different characters, but they were all okay. We all have flaws, but we all have gifts. And the gifts are the tools to get us out of the game. Or maybe also for us to enjoy the game more while we're here. Some of us are here for a season, just a small season. You have people who die in childhood, and you have people who are over 100 years of age. So yes, it's still on. Okay. Yeah. It is my desire to engage in this avatar, to enjoy it. I want to enjoy this life in this avatar, to embrace the gifts that I was given, to not feel shame what was given to me. Because we all know that they will want what I have. And that's why they attack me. That's why they attack me, because they see what I have, and we all see with different eyes. You know what I'm saying? See, I am the participant, and I have my eyes to see, but they have their own eyes, and they see according to their perception. I cannot perceive for them. We all perceive ourselves, and maybe they see something in me that they want. And so they poo-poo it, right? They start to make you doubt your gifts. What about some people? Person had a young man, a high school man, and 17, 16, 17 years old, and already develop a very deep voice. And then the teacher was mocking him. Now, his voice wasn't anything spooky. He had a see, we have gifts, people. And sometimes we receive our gifts at an early age and we don't appreciate it. This guy was being mocked, but actually that was the guy's gift, his voice. He had a very powerful voice. And the teacher was the one that was insecure and felt the vibes of this man, the young teen's voice. And he was just teasing. But that was the guy's gift. Imagine how many people whose gift of oration, and then they hide it. And so people mock me. No, sometimes people are just telling you and revealing to you your gift. See, you would never have noticed the gift, your voice, unless someone says, because to you it's just a voice. But to others, it's power. So those things, people, that people might have teased you about, is actually your gift. What do they tease you about? What do they tease you about? Maybe that's part of your power. Those qualities that people pick on can actually be your doorway to heaven, to the next level. Amazing, amazing. What are those things that they make fun of me? My chest, my nose, my lips, my neck, my feet, my hands, my voice. Whatever what it is, that could be your gateway to happiness, to overcome the avatar, to overcome the game called life. What are you afraid of? False evidence appearing real. Is it real? Is it real? Why do you give it so much power? False evidence appearing real. And maybe right there, wow. Yeah, there's something there. There's something I want to tap into. A false evidence appearing real. That I did address a couple. I addressed it twice. Maybe I should try it again. This thing that I want to overcome. I think it's symbolic. I don't really want to say what it is, but I think if I overcome that, I really would have more freedom. And isn't freedom really the game? Freedom. Real freedom. I gotta explore that. I'm writing the word down at least. This thing that I want to overcome. It's real. It seems foolish. And it tries to paralyze me. It tries to give me panic attacks. But somehow, I don't know, I have an idea in part how it got there. But I think I need to challenge this. Yeah, because I think this thing, if I overcome this particular thing, it'll give me opportunities. And maybe even an opportunity to even leave here when it's time to leave here. Wow. This is something. I have to look at that snake in the eye. It could be actually just be right there. You stand your ground, you stare at it. And you're able to take the clue was right there. So what I'm getting at is that, see, it could, snakes in general frighten people. But sometimes the fear is there as a weapon against you. Again, false evidence appearing real. Because there's something there that it doesn't want you to engage in. It doesn't want you to engage in that liberation because it wants to keep you stuck. It wants to keep you here. It doesn't want you to ascend to the next level of the game. But it keeps popping up. And it's not leaving. And it's like always there. But wouldn't it be great if I could overcome whatever this thing is? Because it's like the snake is sitting on top of your freedom. Wow. Isn't this something? I didn't know I was going to talk about that aspect. But this is a component in the game. And again, the thing tried to get me crippled again about 3 years ago. And I started to get a panic attack when it addressed itself. I said, whoa. So hold me back. No. I don't need it. Fear, I mean, there's a healthy fear, like you don't put your hand in the fire, you don't, some things it's a natural fear, that things to protect you. But I feel this one particular thing is not really there to protect me, but to hold me back. Or maybe it's to hold me back for a season. Interesting. What did I learn in this avatar? One thing, it permits me to meet different types of people. The polarities. Different polarities I have access to. Learn about the different aspects of them. With these polarities, they're basically the same. Look in America, what they call black and white people. These people. And they think each other is so different. But they both are plagued with fear. One is fear, one is anger. And they could switch from fear to anger. But they both are afraid of the same thing and angry, but they're just opposite each other. And so now I look at them. And I said, this is ridiculous. Someone to say, I don't like you because, and it's not and they haven't done anything. And it's plaguing America. And now they have other distractions going on. There's false evidence appearing real, like this cucarachi. People are so afraid. They try to attach itself on me. I'm pretty sure my blood pressure must have went way up. You know something? Don't be afraid, people. If we can only get to that point to challenge our fear. Challenge it. Someone shared with me, challenge it and it will move. The art of challenging it. Challenging doesn't necessarily to me, you don't have to even say anything. When that person stood their ground and looked them straight in the eye, they walked away. Because he convinced the other person enough that he wasn't afraid. Bullies are fearful people. And bullies rely on targeting people who they perceive as being weak. And that is one of the aspects of that movie, Jumanji. The two that knew that were friends since they were little. Yet one of them was insecure. And that's a form of fear. And his friend took that and used that energy against you. Yes, people use your energy, what you put out. You put out fear or insecurity, and they'll use it against you. And that's what was done in the movie. It forces his friend to do his papers and got nothing in return. Now, if he loved himself, if he stood his ground and said, hey, do your own damn paper. Well, you're stupid. Remember in the movie, he didn't like to be called stupid. Well, that's what he was. He was stupid in the sense that he didn't discipline himself to do his schoolwork. He only disciplined himself physically, but not mentally. And so that's also what happens. People use your energy, good or bad. That's why some people like associating with people of like wealthy people, because they want that energy to flow into their lives. It is to take by association. So people think that you're wealthy, and then they'll treat you a certain way. And then, there was another aspect of this I want to talk about too, that before I forget, which is really important. And it's part of the game. See, again, with avatars, we dress a certain way. We act a certain way. And it can take away or add into that avatar, that interaction of the environment. That is with our clothing. Yeah, the movie Tenet kind of showed this, and this other movie called I forget the name, but what do you call those people who are hired to kill other people? Hitman. Yeah, the movie Hitman. There's an aspect of that movie, I don't know whether any of you have noticed. I mean, I notice it. And I think there's a strong message that I want to get. I don't know whether it's appropriate to even talk about it in this live stream because it's a new movie. But I think it's still important that because you can learn from it. Because it's about your appearance and how you engage in that environment. Your avatar world. Clothing. You notice in the movie Hitman and in the movie Tenet, this thing called the business suit, the suit, the suit and tie. In the movie Tenet that I saw yesterday, there was a part in the movie where the lead character he wore a suit, but he was to engage in activity with the super rich. These were people that who are, what do you call it? They're in import export. Those giant carriers, and they have containers in them of stuff, and they go all over the world with this. There's money in that. The super rich. Yeah, Jackie Onassis married someone like that. After her husband got killed, she hooked up with one of those type of people. Super rich. I forget the person's name, but those of you who know, that's what I'm talking about. They're wealthy. They're quiet lives. They don't have to really show off, but getting back now. They were this protagonist was to meet up with this person, but they live in a different social economic. You had, and I think that the protagonist, he worked for the government, and he was also a black person, a dark-skinned black person. They didn't use the race card, but it was implied, in my opinion. But it was still an important factor in this, because I did notice his suit. And the husband of this woman in the movie, they said, oh no, at one point in the movie, the protagonist's suit was in question, and it said, you are wearing so-and-so suit. It's a brand name of suit. I'm not going to give the name. But it's a nice suit. You can get a nice tailor-made suit from them. But see, there's a higher level. And he's not supposed to wear that. It's like, what to say? Like a Rolls Royce versus what's the opposite of a Rolls Royce? I'm not gonna say. You decide for yourself. People know the term Rolls Royce as being the top of luxury cars. But whatever with that, the opposite of a Rolls Royce. And so the opposite of that Rolls Royce, I mean, it was a reliable car, but for that other car to approach a Rolls Royce would be considered like an insult. When you engage in someone in your avatar game, you better come correctly, because that also could be part of the problem in the engagement in your experience in this life. If you're not dressed accordingly, let's say you're having a dinner party, formal wear, but you're wearing messed up jeans, something like that. You'll show that it's almost it's considered almost a sign of disrespect for the activity, and you don't do that. You have to dress the part. And so I looked, because I was noticing his suit. For me, the problem with the suit was the coloring of it. It didn't flatter him. He's a handsome man, but the color took away from his beauty, his natural beauty. He needed another color. Yeah. But see, they noticed, so the guy, the protagonist, a dark-skinned black fellow, was to meet up with someone of a higher caliber, so-called, economic status. And he tried to exercise his authority at this lunch. He was to meet someone at a lunch. And that's at the lunch, the person instructed him, hey, you think you're going to meet so-and-so wearing that so-and-so suit? So you need I have a tailor. So I thought that was something. I thought that was very important. Because it was important in the movie. And I think it's important in life. Are you sabotaging yourself by how you dress? I have to raise my hand at that one. And why? Oh, I'm going to write that down. See, I was intimidated by those bullies. Because every time when I did try to dress a certain way, that showcase myself in the best possible way, I felt insecure with the attention that I got. And so then I downplayed it. Maybe I should start readdressing how I dress. Or how about that situation where that person thought that I was a homeless person on the street because what I was wearing. Well, at least then I did change. I said, I'm going to wear some new clothes. Now, there was nothing wrong with what I was wearing. It was a very cold day. So I was wearing my snow pants and my long coat and boots. But to this white woman, and I'm a woman of color, and I had my 2 little dogs at the time. This was in 2012. And I had their little bowl of water, because we just walked many miles. And I just sat down to just take a breather and for my dogs to regroup and get some water. Well, this woman thought I was a beggar. Comes over to me. First she was hesitant, then she comes over and puts money in my 8 quarters in my doggy's water bowl. And when she saw the water splashing and sees there's water in it, she said, oh, I'm sorry. She takes the money out. Then she starts talking to me about her dog passing away, and she saw my dogs, and she just wanted to engage in conversation. But it spoke to me that how I dress can influence people in a negative way. So at that time, I did say, let me change. And I had a friend that kind of went through that too. She dressed, in my opinion, I thought she dressed very ladylike. But certain attributes, she went to get her hair done. I thought her hair was fun, but a different style, because certain features that she had on her face were distracting. And it was a little child, and my friend is telling me this. She's telling me this story that a little white boy, 4 or 5 years old, I guess with the mom, and points at her and says, she's ugly. And my friend was laughing as she's telling me this. She says, I'm going to go do something about it. To me, she was just my friend who had certain attributes that might be distracting to others. But see, I'm not all about looks. But see, she learned in her wisdom that to some people it matters, and it took a little white child to wake her up because she was underplaying herself. But I mean, to me, she looked fine. But it was just a wake-up call that she could improve. So I'm thinking, maybe what's happening now in my life, I need to reassess how I dress, how I present myself. How do I present myself? We're indoors now with this cucarachi, because of the cucarachi. But I could actually improve in my appearance, in how I dress. Or even my hair. Even, hair could make or break an outfit. It could even maybe make or break my videos. Maybe I should start tapping into my appearance, not as a vain thing of vanity, but maybe what's happening is that I'm only going so far because maybe, see, in the movie Jumanji, they all were given certain tools to use. And again, it's not to exploit your gifts, but when the time comes for you to use it, use it. Or you might lose it permanently. So maybe I need to modify certain things with myself in how I appear. Because don't you feel different when you wear certain clothes or your hair? See, I couldn't take it. See what happened? Again, opposition. Sometimes it's just too much. And you can't deal with your gifts. And the Dwayne Johnson character, okay, here he was given the opportunity to exercise his physical competence. Because his real self was just a puny, skinny nerd. And even when he had the avatar was giving him the opportunity to build up his confidence, because now he has his body as a weapon, he was afraid to use it. And the little character, the Kevin Hart, even pushed him. There's no comparison between the two gentlemen in strength. There's no comparison. But it was to show an example that the character actually was helping him out. And he got pushed. And eventually in the movie, he pushed him back too. Yeah. Yes. See, it's not about showing off. That wasn't the significance of that moment, of the gift of his strength, but an opportunity to exercise, because it was to actually help all of them. But first you get tested. I was being tested last Wednesday with that woman. She didn't touch me or anything like that. And again, I wasn't looking for trouble. But it was an opportunity because I got to look in the video later on and looked at her in the eye and saw that she was a buffoon. It's now time to tap onto your full potential of personal power. It's not about vanity. It's about being confident in your abilities. And sometimes it may mean that family members or even so-called friends will try to fight you and shame you because of your natural gifts that we all have. Each one of us in this avatar game have gifts. Find out what those gifts are. And some clues to that gift is when it's attacked. Is it your body? Is it your color? Is it your hair? Is it whatever what it is? Is it your accent? That can be your keys to your personal power. See, it's all energy. And the fact that they're pointing to that aspect, that means that's what's radiating its most strength. Your weakness can actually be your strength. So if it's all about energy and how to utilize and harness that energy. So you saw in the game, when they got sucked in, what did they turn to? They turned into particles, pure energy, and entered their matrix. Well, this is my matrix here. And I feel that there's something more for me to achieve. But I'm on standby. And I feel I need to get ready, whatever what it is. I need to get ready. I don't want to just sit here. I don't want to just sit. I love this place, but I need to get to the next level. I need to get to my next level in this game, whatever what it is. I think part of it is my appearance. I know I can do better. And I think it, yes, will help on even my channel. What is it? All these things, false evidence appearing real. You have to get focused. Get focused. Target one thing at a time, because right now you're just all over the place. It's the laser that can cut things in half. It's harder to do it with a butter knife, a blunt knife. It's not as efficient. Stand your ground, and where that snake is could actually be your deliverance. And the answer or the missing piece could be right below. That classroom from when I was 5, 6 years old, it could be an answer. That's where it happened for me. Maybe the answer is right in that classroom, sitting right on it. What time it is? What time is it? I was sitting right next to that classroom, whether it be kindergarten or first grade. It was a calendar. It was a big calendar, and they had these plastic, like a thin plastic, and you place it over the dates. One yellow and one was red, and we had to place it on something, on the numbers. Yeah, I didn't know my numbers then. Something happened to me. Isn't that something? What time is it? What is the time for you? And when are you going to wake up? It would have been interesting what date it was at that time. Yeah, maybe I was 6 years old. And 6 is man's number. That is a significant number, yes. Because I had missed, my teeth fell out. My 2 front teeth were taken out. Yeah, I was 6 years old. I think it was 6 years, 6. Yeah, it could have been around 6 years old. Yeah. So we have these things in our lives. And interesting enough, it had to do with time. What time is it? Because see, there's a time and season for everything. It's time for me to wake up. It's time for me to wake up. It is time for me to wake up. I thank you for that revelation. I thank you for that revelation. It's time for me to wake up. It's time for me to overcome the false evidence appearing real. And that what is dormant right now, it has to awaken. Some of us, unfortunate, the button is pressed through a trauma. But you know, we're not going to go there. You have to turn on yourself. Yes, I thank you, universe. I pray for that dormancy in my life be turned on in a safe manner, and that I fully tap onto my personal power so that I could walk this avatar life and move on to the next journey, and not to have this cucarachi virus as an excuse to this lockdown. Yeah, this is a game, all right. And there's a world game that's being manifested on our lives through this cucarachi. But I stand my ground, and I pray to the universe to not be afraid, and to, in wisdom, challenge this false evidence appearing real, so I can move on to the next level of my greatness. We all have inner greatness waiting to be tapped and developed. I thank you for this opportunity to do this. I am now going to window gaze and come to further enlightenment. Peace and love to you. Spirit Journey signing off. I thank you. Bye-bye.